Hi there, my name is Peter. I'm the CEO and founder of Sail Pro. In this video, I'd like to give you a quick walkthrough, demonstration, if you will, of our another one of our products called BerthAboat. Now, before we begin, what is BerthAboat? Well, BerthAboat is an application that is designed to help yacht clubs, marinas, boat repair service shops, anyone really in the boating industry manage the services and provides the services to the general boating public, their members, and so forth, with an easy, simple way for them to be able to book these services. Now, why did we build this product? For the very simple reason that, from my experience personally, and from feedback from many other boaties and yachties around the world, is that yacht clubs in general do not have a system for this. The way that they manage sort of people wanting to book a berth or a slip or a mooring or a pen or whatever it might be, or services on their boat, is typically done. The way you do it is you call up, you ask if you've got any slips, they go and have a look on a whiteboard or open up an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet, or they go and ask Bill if it's free or whatever, and then they will help the customer book it. They might scribble that down in an Excel spreadsheet or on a piece of paper, but it's not very electronic, and typically it's done quite manually. There's no way of really tracking inventory, so lots of clubs sort of suffer from this. And also, it's difficult for the boater themselves or the customer who's looking to find a berth, because they might be at home, it's 8 o'clock at night, and they're thinking, I want to go down to wherever and I want to get a berth for the weekend, but where can I'll have to call the yacht club. I can't call them now. So it's just sort of making it easy. Of course, most yacht clubs will have a marina page or services page on their website, and you'll be able to go there, and they might have a form or they might have a contact number, but not many have a booking system. And that's really what this is. It's a booking system for your yacht club. And you can use it in multiple different ways to provide the services that you do. Again, whether it's the boating public or your members. And so what I'm going to do is run through that, the BerthAboat system really, really quickly. So you can see here, I'm in BerthAboat. It's very easy and simple to get to. You just type in berthaboat.sailpro.app, enter your login details, enter your email address, you will receive a code, and then you can log in. I'm going to talk quickly about how you set it up, but not to go into too much depth, all right? This is really just a general overview of the platform itself and how it works and what it can do. So the idea of it is basically what happens is you have the club console here, which is what we would call the back end of the system. And then we also have the front end of the system, which is this here. And this is what the boating public or your members or what have you see. And so here's where they basically can create their bookings. I won't go into that yet. I'll leave that until the end. But basically you've got the public facing or the customer facing, and then the back end console here. So you can see here I'm in the dashboard. The dashboard gives you a high-level view of what's coming, the live bookings you've got at the moment, upcoming, what's paid. Then some quick actions here on next steps, adding inventory and reviewing inquiries. And then underneath that, we've got our general calendar, which is defaulted into a month view, but you can change that into a day view. And you can see here the bookings that you've got coming up, or a week or a month. And then you can also see the bookings here, so you can click on that and then open the underlying booking for that. But we'll actually just go back. And then, so yeah, you can see the bookings you've got coming up. You can see the dollar sign showing anything that's paid, and then you can move through the months and so on, just like a normal sort of calendar. All right, so that's the dashboard. Moving to the next is the club setup. And this is where you basically set up the club. You give the club its name. You give the club its public URL. Okay, so what you do is, we call this a slug, but you basically type what yours is here, and then that will give you this link here. And if you open that up, then that's the link that the customers can book your services under, or your club services under. So therefore, you could email that, you could put it in a WhatsApp, you could text it, you could put it behind a QR code. You name it, right? There's numbers of different ways to do it. But what you can also do, if you click this little embedded button, You could copy this code, and it's very simple code. It's anyone with a basic website experience could do it. And you can paste that into your website. And now this page, the customer booking page, will exist inside your website. So they won't go to berthAboat.sailpro.app. They'll go to youryachtclub.com/marina or services. And here they'll be able to book it. Okay. So it's sort of your own branded solution. Underneath that, we've got our description. We can give it a description. We can also put in an image here. Now, we use links for images, so you can very quickly go to your website, right-click on any of your images, copy the image location, paste that in here, and then it will display that image. Enter your address, the club address. You can enter the club's latitude and longitude to show where it is. Its phone number, the normal club email, so the email that the club might use. yc.com, that's probably someone's, that's the email for the club, and then the reply to email. So this is important because when emails are sent from the system, they're sent from our platform, and so we use this to reply. So if the system sends one of your customers an email, when they click reply, they will reply to this address. All right, the system can take online payments, and as such, you can set the tax settings in here. So if your club is responsible for collecting tax, you can do that on sale. You can do that here. Okay, so you can set the tax rate, the tax label, the tax rate, whether it's inclusive or exclusive, or you could turn it off. If you don't charge GSE, you're a charitable organisation, whatever you are, and you don't need to, you can turn that off. And here it will give you the example. Underneath that, we've got our booking terms and policies. And so here what you can do is paste in your terms and conditions. You can paste in your cancellation policy, your refund policy, your payment terms, and your acceptance checkbox text. And if you put those in here, what this will do is it will realize that it's there, and then when it responds in an email, it will put these terms and conditions into the email. All right, so you're always making a customer aware of what your policies and procedures are. You're upfront and very clear about that. It can also attach a document as well. So if you've got a marina map, or you've got a layout of your berths, or whatever you might have, or your terms and conditions are in there, you could actually upload those here, and it will send those in the emails. You can turn on and off the hosted club page. So if you decide that you only want to use it internally, which a club could definitely do, you don't have to let the customers do this. You could use this to manage your stuff internally. You can turn that off and on. And then you can also request that the customer provide a statement saying that they have insurance documentation here. And then once you've done all that, you basically just click Save Club, and now your club's saved, okay? So once you've got the club set up, we'll then just jump into, just before we do that, the tool can take payments, okay? So we integrate with a third-party payment provider called Stripe, which are very well-known, very large global payment organization. And you can, with the tool, very quickly create a Stripe account and then connect that to the system. So now when people pay, they'll pay through Stripe, and then the proceeds will get paid to your club's bank account. And that you can do through here. I won't go through that in detail now. You don't have to accept payments if you don't want to through the system. All right, the next is inventory, and this is a pretty important part of it. Okay, so the inventory page is, as it sounds, is where you set up all of your inventory pools, we call them. And so an inventory pool could be something like a slip, or moorings, or pens, or yard storage. Typically, your yacht club will have multiple instances of these, as in the physical units of them. So what we can do is set those up here. And then you can see here, I already have a number of items already set up, or pools set up. I've got a 10-day slip, a 5-day slip, a haul out, visitor moorings, and then yard storage. And I've got one that's active and one that's deactive, all right? And you can see here we get our different capacity. So if I jump into here, just as an example for this 10-day slip, I'll edit the pool. I can see here, here's the name of it. Here's how many I've got, the type that it is, who's got access to it, and then what the measurements of the boat that are using it need to be. We've got our minimum length, we've got our max length, we've got our beam, and we've got our draft and our tonnage. And then what you can do is you can choose different booking styles. So different yacht clubs will rent their services out or provide their services out on different formats. Some might allow people to book their slip, from this day to this day if it's available. Or some others might say, no, you've got to book it for a 5-day period. Or it could be, I want to book it for an hour. These things you've got multiple ways, without going into too much detail of them, of being able to customize the system to meet the way that you provide your services. Do you allow a customer to book a mooring for a minimum period or a maximum period? All this type of thing you can actually set up and construct in here. You can put a link to the image of it. You can put the price in, obviously, and then you can say whether it's a one-time or it's a per day or per hour fee. Okay, so it will calculate that out. So in this case, obviously, a slip is typically a one-time fee. And then you can put notes down in here. But also what you can do is you can add ancillary services to it in a way that either the customer can select or you make mandatory. So in the example of a slip, you might say, okay, we've got a mandatory haul out fee. Or if you've got an overhead crane or you're putting a boat into storage, yard storage, we've got a fee for that, okay? And then you can do others that aren't mandatory, all right? So you can say, and if I come back up here, here's all of my ancillary services. I can create my ancillary services here, and then I can associate them to the different inventory pools. And then if I want, make one of them mandatory, but make the others optional for the customer to actually select. All right, what we've also got in the system is the ability for you to enter the physical units that you actually have. So if you've got, a good example is moorings or pens. You don't just have one pen, you've probably got multiple that you rent out. It could be 10, could be 15, it could be a lot. Okay, what you can do here is what I'll do is I'll jump down into the visitor moorings, and this is a better example of it. So here's the visitor moorings. This club's got 5 of them. And then if I keep scrolling down here, obviously there's no haul out fee or anything with a mooring. But you can see underneath the ancillary services, we've got our physical units. And here are the actual physical units and their locations, all right? Plus the date they were last serviced and any notes that you've got on those. You can add these manually, or you can do a very quick import from a CSV file. So I won't go into too much detail, but this is actually very easy to do. You can just map out your moorings, say an example of moorings, your mooring name, your latitude, your longitude, service date, so on, and any nodes. Copy and paste those into here, click import units, and they'll all get imported. And so now you've got all of them here and you can edit them as well. And if I jump back up to the inventory pools themselves, you can see here I've got 2 different tabs. I've got a list tab and then I've got a map tab. And as you probably are guessing, what that map tab does is allow you to map where your inventory pools are. So we'll just let that load, and there you go. There's the moorings for this yacht club here, okay? And then if you check this little box here, availability check, you can actually see which ones are booked and which ones not. So you can see between this period of the 23rd of June to the 30th, that this mooring number 1 is booked, and it's booked for those dates, okay? So you can actually see that there. So if somebody calls you up and says, oh, have you got any moorings, between these dates, you can quickly run that and say, yeah, we've got 4 available, all right? So easy to do. And then from here, you can actually open the pool here of the moorings and make any adjustments, all right? So that's the inventory pool. You can activate, deactivate that. And so now you can see I've got all of my inventory items there. Okay, so that's the inventory menu. Next, we'll jump into the inquiries. We'll skip over payments and jump into inquiries. Okay, now what we're going to do is have a look at inquiries. And as the name might suggest, this is where you basically receive all your inquiries. You can see at the top here, then I've got a little notification here. This is basically making you aware that there's a new inquiry. And then what you do is you basically just click that, and then you'll be in inquiries here. And this is basically where, or this is like a message board. All of your inquiries from customers come into here. And then you can see them, and then you can action them. Okay, so you can see here, here's all of my inquiries. And then on the right-hand side here, I've got all the details about them. And here at the bottom, I can mark it provisional. I can place it on hold. I can associate a physical unit. So if you get a booking and you want to associate them to mooring number 1, you can do that. You can send confirmation emails, as well as send, if you have online payments enabled, you can send them a link to pay the invoice, and you can do that from there. You could do that at any time. Obviously, you could do that up front if you require upfront payment, but you could also do that by sending that at any time during the process, so after it. You can also do a refund. So if the customer cancels for whatever reason and you need to refund them, you can do that from here. You can decline the request, you can cancel the booking, you can you can check it in, you can mark it as complete. So all that basic sort of booking control you can do from here. And then in addition to that, you can also create your own booking here. So you can click the create a new booking, and then what you see here is basically what the customer sees. From a pool availability or service availability. And so you could come in here and say, someone calls up and says, look, I want to book a mooring. You can come in here and click make an inquiry, and then you can complete all the details and then validate it and sign it. And then what will happen is that new booking will appear here, and then you can just process it like any other. But what I'm going to do is show you that from a client's perspective. All right, so that's inquiries. The next one we want to have a look at is payments. Now, you will only see the payments button if you have online payments activated, okay? And so in here, you can see all of your payments. You can see all of your payments in, as well, all of your, any of your payouts. So every few days, if you have money in your Stripe account, Stripe will transfer that money in a lump sum into your club's bank account. That you set this up when you're setting your Stripe account up. But you can see here it includes all the details about all of the Stripe activity. Okay, so any of the booking, any of the payments made, and so on and so forth. So that's basically all there. Log out is basically just log out. All right, so that's the back end. That's BerthAboat, the back end, and how you would use that as a club. And we've also got a help menu, which is not showing here. This is a demo account, but basically there's a help menu that will help you if you get stuck. But of course, you can always reach out to us and ask us any questions. We'd be more than happy to get on a call with you and explain it to you. All right, so that's how you view it as a club. Let's have a look now and view it as a customer. So again, just to remind you that if you take this link here, this is the link to your booking page. And so you could just share this link if you wanted to anybody, and then, or put it into an email or what have you, and then anyone could access that. So I'm just going to click that. And then as a customer, you can see here I am. I'm inside BerthAboat. I come down here and I want to book a visitor mooring. I can click make an inquiry. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dates that I want it, say from tomorrow to the 26th. And then I'm going to put my boat length 12. My beam is 3.4. My draft is 1.5 and my displacement is 9. I put my name, put my email. Sorry, that's the boat name. Put my email address. I can put my mobile number if I want, and then I'll just put 10 a.m. arrival estimated. Okay, And then I confirm that I've got a current insurance certificate. I click validate. All right, and then if we scroll down, we'll see we've got a minimum booking period of 2 days. All right, so let's just increase that one out. Let's put that out to there, and then validate again. And there you go. We see that the inquiry has been made. All right, so let's now jump back into, if we just jump into that customer's email, they've now received an email confirming their booking. It's not a confirmation of a booking, it's just acknowledgement of a booking. Then if we go back into the back end of the system, too many tabs open. Okay, and we go to, oh my God, sorry about this. Then you can see here we've got a little number 2 now because we've got that extra inquiries come in. We click inquiries, and now you can see, let's just refresh that. We can see we've got that new inquiry, okay? And you can see it's from Peter Test, it's reef knot, it's a mooring, these are the dates. We've got all the detail down here. All right, we can check it all, we can approve it. So let's just confirm the booking. Jump back into the customer's email. There's the confirmation of the booking. Okay, now what we'll do is we will send them an invoice. All right, jump back into the customer's email. Okay, there's the payment request. You can see we've got all the details in here. And then now the customer can pay that. We'll just put in the SMS number. All right, and then we'll pay. All right, that's confirmed for the customer. The customer's returned to the booking page. If we jump back into the back end, we refresh, we'll see now that's paid. Scroll down, there's the payment link. Now what we could do is assign it to a mooring. So we'll assign it to visitor mooring number 2, save that. And there you go. Basically, it's all done. You can check them in when they arrive. All right, and then you can complete the stay when they're finished. All right, so there you go. So it's completed. So yes, that basically is it. That's the entire system. Basically how it works is hopefully you can see it's really flexible. It allows you to sort of construct the services and present them in a way that you want to sell them or provide them to your members or your customers. If we don't, then please reach out to us. We can discuss that and maybe show you ways to do it so that you don't have to change the way you operate. But we're always willing to look at other ways and other different ways to set the system up so that it can be booked differently. Okay, to start using BerthAboat is really simple. There's a free 14-day trial. You don't need a credit card. You basically just go to our website. Oops, I'll just go here. If you just come to our website, you can click start a free trial. and that will, all you need to do is enter an email address, your club name, and then it will send you an OTP and you'll start a 14-day free trial. All right, so again, Peter here from Sail Pro. If you've got any questions whatsoever on BerthAboat, we'd love to talk to you about it. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and let's discuss your requirements. Okay, see you on the water.